Hello and welcome to Wooden Watch You Don't Need. This video is going to be about destiny. Yes, you've heard me correct. This is a watch channel, but today we're going to go deep. And what do we have in this box? Well, this is a Casio Computer Watch. I mean, how cool can this be? This is a watch that dates back to the late 70s, but I think that this came out in 1976. A beautiful year. So we're going to jump straight to the functions. You see that the stopwatch is going, and in fact we have the indication ST for stopwatch. And if I press this button which says lap reset, you can see that the passing time on the display stops, but we have this indication lap, of course, and so we know that the chronometer is still running in the back. And in fact, if I press start stop once again, the chronometer will stop. I have now time to jot down the first time elapsed, and then if I press reset, I will have the second time. And as you can see, we have minutes, seconds, tenths and hundredths of seconds here. This is a watch from the late 70s, and the precise model is, let's have a look, and let's get the box out of the way. It's made in Japan, and the precise model is, as you can see, hopefully, maybe from this angle it's easier to see, and it is 60QR-22. As you can see, this one was made in Japan. It's a stainless steel watch, so the whole construction of the watch is in stainless steel. The case is entirely made of stainless steel. This is not chromed resin. This watch is not water resistant. It has no water resistance whatsoever. Continuing the description randomly, the bracelet is in stainless steel, as is the clasp. You can see that this is quite a fairly simple clasp with the name brand Casio engraved on the stainless steel. It's a nice vertical brushing that we have here. This watch has got 4 buttons, as you can see. Your select button that lets you select from, well, the time function to the chronograph function. You have this button, right button here, that when you are in time mode, if you press it, it will display the date. And as you can see, we have your day of the month and day of the week. There is no alarm, there is no stopwatch, and no other function. This computer watch is a fancy chronometer from the mid or late 70s. I don't know about the crystal of this watch. I think that this is mineral crystal, just like the original Casiotron watch had a mineral crystal 50 years ago, so in 1974. This is a younger sibling to the original Casiotron, and you can see the indications here. It says chronograph here. It says adjust, and in fact you can see that there is one button which is recessed, and this is used to adjust the time. And then it says select here, and it says 100 of a second stopwatch. It says quartz, of course. It says Japan here. Can you see that it says Japan also here on the face of the watch? It says start stop here, or set date. And it's funny because it tells you that when you press the date function, this number is the month, this number is the date, and then this 2 letters will be the day of the week. It's almost impossible to see it, but I can assure you that this watch has a light, which possibly is worse, or I could say it's far worse than that of the present day F91. We all know that that's an inefficient light, to say the least. Well, this one, which you activate by pressing this button here, light, is even dimmer. Maybe in a future video I can show you the light now. I cannot have complete darkness in this room Anyway, this watch is so very cool in my opinion. This is really a piece of archaeological technology or technological archaeology, how you want to put it. And why did I say that this video was going to be about Destiny? Well, I'll tell you in a second. Now first, let me compare this beauty from the 70s to two more contemporary watches. We have the Casio A168 here, much younger cousin with a resin case and chrome plating. We have from the competition the Armitron all stainless steel watch with a 50 meter of water resistance, whereas this one has 30 meters. Well, the old Casio has no water resistance whatsoever, but it has a lot of charm to it. You can see that the clasp has some holes for the adjustments here. The material of the bracelet is folded still, although it's folded, I hope it can focus, it's folded quite well. You almost don't notice that it's folded still. You will have to take my word for it because it's executed quite well. It is folded still, but it's well executed. It has a sort of could remind you of a Jubilee pattern. Here you can see that it's folded still, but it is folded quite well once again. Let's see some measurements. Case width is just shy of 36 mil. Lug to lug measured the way I like it, so the easy way, is 39.5, so almost 40. The pushers stick out just a bit. Lug width is 18 mil, so it'll be easy to find a replacement bracelet. Let's see the weight of this thing. And this one weighs 58 grams. Let's see how it fits on my 16.5 centimeters or 6.5 inch wrist. And here you have it. I think this is the right size for my small wrist. It looks somehow classy. And I think this was not a luxury, but a fancy watch back in the mid or late 70s. Digital watches were really considered like a computer on your wrist, as the name on the box suggests. And why did I talk about Destiny? Well, because this is a watch that I really did not need, as the name of my channel suggests. This is a channel about watches that we don't need. And I was looking at a second-hand internet site, and this watch pops out. And the person who was selling it was not willing to send it. And the person who was selling it lived at about 300 miles or 500 kilometers from where I live. But fate or destiny wanted that I had planned a trip to the very city where this watch was being sold for the weekend, and so I just say this is destiny. I don't need this watch, but I'm going there, and what are the odds? This was the first time I've ever visited that city.
I plan to go back there again, and if you want to know what city it was, just ask me in the comments and I will tell you.
And so this must be a sign of destiny. This watch has to be mine. I must buy it. So I met in one of the main squares of that city with this nice gentleman who told me that this watch had been in a drawer for, well, decades, but it had always been kept very well. As you can see, I mean, signs of the times are here. The watch has been worn, and of course I cleaned it before showing it on video, but conditions for an almost 50-year watch are, well, great in my opinion. And so yeah, I just had to buy it. I even managed to go in a dark corner of that square, even though I bought this watch in broad daylight, and I managed to verify that the light was actually working. In an age where Casio is celebrating last year 40th anniversary for G-Shocks, and this year the 50th anniversary of the first Casiotron, I bought the real thing from the 70s. And yeah, and this has been what you don't need. I'm gonna see you on the next. Ciao.